Welcome to my coffee channel. I'm Thomas, and today I am going to be reviewing a coffee from the godfather of coffee, Starbucks. I got a bag of their Pike's Place coffee. I believe this is one of their most popular coffees they offer. I'm going to pour shots, I'm going to cup it, I'm going to cold brew it, I'm going to rate it on my SCA rating card, and I'm going to let you know whether this is a good, great, or not so great coffee. So I'll be right back. I'm going to analyze it. I did a roast analysis on this Starbucks coffee. The bag calls it a medium roast. On my roast right, I am getting a 38 on the outside skin, which actually puts it into the French roast, dark roast range. On the inside of the bean, it does come out a bit lighter, 51, which puts it on the Vienna, really puts it on the very backside of what I would call a medium roast. So, barely a medium roast, more leaning towards the darker side. But anyway, I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to cup this coffee for you. Okay, my coffee has been resting about 14 minutes. I did smell this dry, and it had a aroma of sweet honeydew melon, which I found very pleasant. One of the things I will say, when I poured the water, it had no bloom at all on the coffee, to be expected. Since I got this out of the grocery store, there is no roast on date. It does have a use on date, which is about 6 months down the road. So I wasn't expecting any sort of freshness bloom out of this coffee. Let's give it a taste and see how it is. Has a little bit of sweetness. Not really getting any bitterness out of the coffee. It is really kind of not a very flat, kind of unflavorful, which is to be expected because I have no idea what the age of this coffee is. The longer coffee sits in the bag, the more flavors and nuances it loses, but not a bad coffee. Like it has a nice little sweet overtone to it. A little smokiness. Like I said, not much of a mouthful, not a lot of body. But I do like the little sweet edge it does have. Not really getting any fruitiness out of this. I would say these are worst coffees. Doesn't seem like a natural. Processed. But not bad. I think I paid a little under $7 for this bag. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a 12-ounce bag. So for $7, I would call it a good coffee for that price. Anyway, I have some cold brewing. I'm going to score this, and I'll be right back with a cold brew and let you know my total score on this coffee. Be right back. Welcome back. It's been about 15 hours. I got a cold brew. I am going to make a cappuccino, and I'm going to let you know my score on this coffee. So the Espresso does make a nice crema. Has a nice, pleasant, sweet smell to it. Try a cappuccino. Actually, this coffee is not an espresso coffee. It's not really designed to be an espresso, but it has a nice sort of Italian, sort of like smoky Italian espresso taste. So I would say if you're looking for a cheap coffee, which is, this was about $6.50 for a 12-ounce bag, which is what I consider very cheap supermarket coffee, it makes a pretty decent cappuccino. Okay, let's try the cold brew. I'm just going to try a little. Nice amber color. Sort of sweet, like I said, sweet honeydew melon sort of aroma coming off of it. Kind of a little smoky taste. In terms of cold brew, I find it very sort of unflavorful, boring. But anyway, let's go over my scorecard here. So on the roast right, I already told you this, it was a 38 on the outer bean, 51 ground. On fragrance, I found it probably old in the bag. You know, it came out of the grocery store. I was hoping I could buy it off the internet or off their website. I couldn't. So I bought this out of my local grocery store. Who knows how long it's been there. So I gave it a 7.5 on fragrance, aroma, mild, sweet. Did have a nice smell in the bag. Sort of a sweet honeydew melon. Flavor, I gave it an 8. Nice flavor, not mellow, nothing great. Aftertaste, I gave it a 7.75. Really, no much of an aftertaste. Acidity, kind of flat on acidity. I gave it a 7.5. Sweetness, I did give it an 8. Did have a nice little sweetness, not too sweet. But I did give it a 10 on bitterness, meaning there was no bitterness in the cup. I did get some bitterness in the shot by itself, but it was sort of not a bad bitterness. But anyway, I gave it a 10 just because there was no bitterness in the cup. And mouthful, not much of a lingering mouthful to this coffee, 7.5. Balance, I gave it an 8.25. Other than a little bitterness, I couldn't find any real defects. I gave it a 9. And overall drinkability, I gave this as an 8. And on my overall score, I gave it an 81.5. So, but the big thing I have to say about this coffee was the price. At being under $7, I would call this a, you know, Starbucks kind of made their name off of being a second wave coffee in the early 70s, but actually they're so big and roasting so much coffee, I would almost have to put them in the sort of first wave coffee category with the U-Bands, Folgers, Maxwell House coffees, because they're sold in almost every store in America and the low price. So I would say this was a very good first wave coffee. On my coffee index, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Not because there was so much of a great coffee, but it was a good coffee at a very good price. And price is the key word here. So, you know, if you're looking for a good coffee at a good price, you can buy it just about any grocery store. Like I said, made a decent espresso. You know, this may be your coffee for you. Like I said, it was a decent coffee, particularly at the price. So anyway, that's my review for this week. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do so. If you have not hit that like button and you appreciate this review, please hit that like button. It really helps a lot for people to find my channel. Till next week, I'll have a new review for you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.